You gotta love that new intro though. It is just shout out forms because it is sick. Anyway, season 2, we are back, guys. It is so good to be back. For all of you listening, for all of you watching on YouTube, we're really excited. We've got so much coming up that you guys should be excited for this season. Different things. Season 1 was just the beginning. We're diversifying. We're getting more inclusive for our community. So much is going to be happening. So we're really excited to share lots with you. We've got lots and lots planned. So please stick with us. But yeah, lots of exciting things to come. If you don't already follow us on @TFF Media on Instagram, make sure you go do that. If you don't follow us on TikTok, the Footy Forum, make sure you go do that. Most importantly, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're listening on audio. Make sure you follow us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, whatever it is. A lot of exciting stuff coming. Instagram, we're going to run competitions where you may be on the episode if you win the competition. So best be listening in for that. For YouTube, make sure you subscribe because there'll be exclusive video content. Anyway, enough of the promo stuff. Here's what we've got in store for today. So, as you can see in front of me, 2 pretty unfamiliar faces, and not surprisingly, if you can actually see their faces right now, this is why they stay behind the scenes. So Leo and Noah, so what we're going to do today is we're going to essentially put Leo and Noah in the hot seat and ask them some of their views, mostly around kind of the popular areas in the league and the Premier League, so top 4, Europa spots, bottom 3, that type of thing. So a bit interesting is obviously me and Alex usually are the ones debating, but today we're going to be challenging Leo and Noah on their thoughts, which is going to be something a bit different. So first, I think it would be best if Leo and Noah, you introduce yourselves, and then we'll crack into it. And obviously we've got Alex here as well. Everyone knows Alex, the princess, the superstar of the podcast, heading up TF3 as well. So yeah, Noah, if you want to just introduce yourself first.
Yeah, hi, I'm Noah. I'm a big Arsenal fan, hence the Arsenal kit. And I do like a lot of the Instagram stuff behind the scenes. So yeah, that's why it looks so much better now that Morgan's doing it. Yeah, that's what I do.
Perfect, yeah. Leo.
Hi, I'm Leo. I am a 2021-2022 Europa League Wolves fan. I also support Torquay United as well. But yeah, I mainly do the TikTok, a little bit on the Instagram as well, a lot of the content. But we also did a lot of the Euro content with Morgan.
Yeah, Leo was helping me with that.
But yeah, it's great to be on the podcast.
I was going to say, I don't know if it's just from my side of things, but I can't actually see your kit at all, Noah. I just see your neck and your head.
Yeah, so
your neck.
He's scared.
Yeah, well, we'll assume it's Arsenal, but it could be anyone for all we know.
Fair.
Could be Northampton. I'm a bit colourblind, so it looks a bit Northampton colour. Yeah, so what we're going to do, we're just going to put some questions to you guys. So Noah and Leo, you guys are in the hot seat. Me and Alex are basically going to press you and try and understand how you've come to your decisions. So first, I'm going to come to Leo. Leo, I want to hear your top 4 prediction for the end of the season.
Okay, so we've got Chelsea coming first.
Okay.
We've got Liverpool, City, and then United.
So you see United getting that 4th spot. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of controversy recently around Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, around his job, around the inconsistency, this idea that Ole keeps getting saved at the final whistle, the final bell, by none other than Cristiano Ronaldo, popping up, grabbing a goal here, grabbing a goal there. But it's this inconsistency. Every time his job's on the line, they step up and then it slips again. We've seen Liverpool 5-0 at home. We saw City 2-0 at home, even though, quite frankly, that should have been 5 or 6-0. So what are you seeing right now that makes you think United will finish in 4th place?
Well, I think they've obviously got Cristiano Ronaldo, he's a born winner. So he's going to have a massive input on that team. And they've also got Cavani as well. They've got experienced players that can turn it around, who have been through, tough times, and they know what it's like to win. So, although they do have Solskjaer, I think we don't know what's going to happen with Solskjaer, whether he's
so
there
is,
or not.
Is your assumption? Well, that's the thing. Is your assumption based on Ollie being there at the end of the season or a new manager coming in?
Either. I don't think.
You think either?
Yeah, I think if a new manager came in, they'd just steady the ship. I don't think they'd really do too much, but I think Solskjaer will pull through. I mean, at the end of the day, like they're only 5 points behind. I think second, or if I'm right.
Right.
So they're not a million mile away. It's just a little bit of tweaking and maybe giving a few players a chance. You know, Fred's not really cutting it at the moment. You could say that Fernandez is maybe a little bit out of form. A few players out of form, but it's just what happens.
Okay, you're giving me too much fluff right now, so I'm gonna give you a more direct question. Just say agree or disagree to this statement. Generally, to finish in the top four, so fourth, third, second, doesn't matter. To finish in the top four, you have to be picking up a decent number of points against those big clubs, whether you want to call them the big six, even though they're not really the big six anymore. But those sorts of teams, you could put West Ham, Leicester in that conversation potentially. You need to be picking up points against those teams: Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Agree or disagree?
Agree, but it's only November.
I wanted one word.
It's only November. It's only November.
One word. No, I didn't say. I said agree or disagree. You said agree. Okay. Now, what have you possibly seen against their performances against any of those sides? So let's go specific. Let's say Liverpool and City, right? What have you seen against those sides, right? You say Cristiano Ronaldo they've got, and that's the reason why. So let's give the Liverpool game an example. His goal got disallowed, but let's say his goal didn't get disallowed. Then you've got a scoreline of 5-1. So I don't exactly see Cristiano Ronaldo making a difference there. Look. So there's no point having Cristiano Ronaldo if you guys don't have a structure, a sort of identity as a team, or at least a defence that can hold a good team to either a clean sheet or one goal, so that Ronaldo can do his stuff up top. That's my question to you. Okay,
but like I said, we are only in November, and they do have the quality, but they do have the quality players such as Ronaldo, such as Cavani, who have been there before, and we may.
What about the defence? What about the defence? You're not addressing my point. My point.
Okay.
Is that it's all good if they score goals.
Maguire was injured for that Liverpool game. He was not at full fitness. It's just Solskjaer didn't trust certain players. You know, Maguire wasn't at his full fitness. Wan-Bissaka did not do very well, and Luke Shaw neither did very well. To be fair, but you know that first half was it kind of ruined it for them. I mean, the second half they didn't play as bad. I think it was just a bad first half. And look at the City game, 2-0. Like City are a better team. Like they there's no doubt about that. I just feel over other teams such as Arsenal and West Ham, they have more quality than Arsenal. I'd say that United and Arsenal are kind of similar in the way that they, you know, they both got.
No one's questioning that quality, but
I'm just saying
the way they play as a team. They have no continuity. They have no identity. They have no idea what's really going on. They don't seem to have a strategy going into games. It just seems to be a bit. Like, you're making excuses, Alex. Do you want to? I can't.
Well, I appreciate whether I agree with what Leo's saying or not. I appreciate the enthusiasm he's brought out of you. It's always fun to watch. I hope you're not at your place of work. You might have someone come in and check to make sure you're okay.
No, working for me today. Okay.
The client on the other end of the phone is like getting an earful or something. No, I feel like I hear what you're saying. Like, it's good for, you know, Manchester United has some heroes that can maybe pull it out. But if they dig themselves too deep of a hole in November, like, the Premier League is not that forgiving. Like, you can't dig a hole all the way down to the bottom of the table and then miraculously fix it with, like, Ronaldo at the end of the season. I don't think. But yeah, there's just too much like. They just have so many, like, there's players on United, like, you look at, like, Jadon Sancho, they paid all this money for him to come, not playing. Like, people have all these expectations for him. He's started, 3 games, and he's, like, lost his spot on the Team England roster because whether that's an Ole decision or he's not quality or whatever's happening. And then you have a back line that's not cohesive. And I don't know. They're in 6th place right now, and I don't know if I can see them catching up, personally, but it could be the year where things get flipped upside down for them. Interesting.
Well, I'm gonna swing it over to Noah now. I would assume. I think even when we come to our discussion, Alex, in our episode, I'm pretty sure everyone listening to this would agree that we see Liverpool, Chelsea, and City in their own sort of league finishing in that top four. But I want to hear who you've got in your top four, Noah.
Okay, cool. So I've got Chelsea winning it. I've got Manchester City second, Liverpool third, and then Arsenal picking it up at fourth.
Okay.
So that's my top
Okay, you know
four.
what?
That's my top four there.
Before I call you bias with your Arsenal kit on,
That's all right. You can
I'm
go
listening. I'm going to give you a chance. It's not fair. I'm going to give you a chance. Please.
Let me hit you something. This is the most unified team, Arsenal team I've seen in a long time. First of all.
Agreed.
Okay, Arteta has had over 100 games now of experience. So I consider him now. He's been there. He knows what he's doing. Good youngsters. Smith Rowe massively improved. Saka massively improved. The defense fantastic now. Ramsdale and gold. What a character. And owners who are investing a lot of money. You know, biggest spender in Europe, not in the Premier League, in Europe. And every single player we brought is quality and cheap. Really good money, and it's definitely, proven their worth, and I think what will happen is that as teams like who are in the Europa League and Champions League, they're going to get tired when we get to that January, December phase, and Arsenal won't, because we don't have European football, but that's going to play into our advantage this season, and I think we will just pick it up. Maybe it's 3 games towards the end of the season, and we just pick it up right at the end. But I think we're in a good place where we can just sneak it at the end.
Yeah, I think that's the best point about the fact that obviously you're not in Europe this year. I wouldn't say Arsenal have a great amount, maybe in attack, but definitely not kind of midfield defence. They don't have a great amount of depth, I would say. But obviously not being in Europe, that's less of an issue. I think cup games, they come around every so often. I don't see you. I know you do well in the FA Cup, but I don't know. I see all the focus being on the league, getting back into definitely Europe, but ideally you want to, as you said, you want to hit that 4th spot, really. So again, these are predictions. At the end of the day, these are predictions. But the points you gave, I can understand the position and your reasoning. Leo, I questioned yours a lot. But those are stuff I can challenge you, but I think they're fair points. Alex?
I think this season needs to be a Europa year for Arsenal, not a top 4 kind of thing. Like, I feel like they need some time to build, even though they've brought people over. Like, it's the same thing with West Ham last year. Like, they were doing really well, but they weren't ready to go against the top clubs in Europe, I don't think. And I feel like Arsenal, you can't go from middle average pack to all of a sudden turning around and being top of the pack. But I think they have lots of stuff there to be working towards. I don't think this is their year that they're going to go and sweep the league or go and play a Champions League or anything like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Now I want to see Noah and Leo. I want to see Leo. I want to first hear Noah's thoughts on Leo's in Man United 4th, and then I want to hear Leo's thoughts on Arsenal being 4th, because obviously you guys are disagreeing. So I want to hear what you think of each other's.
Well, look on Man United. That's the craziest thing I think I've seen all year. I don't, Cristiano Ronaldo was the worst signing of the summer. There's not even a question. He has ruined Manchester United. I can categorically say that.
Jeez.
They had a structure to their team. They had Greenwood playing up front, Sancho and Rashford. Ronaldo comes in. He doesn't track back. He leaves space. He doesn't work hard. He's just someone you don't want in your team. He's an old player. And he's ruined their team. Cavani can't even start now because Ronaldo's playing in this position. So they've ruined great players. They ruined Donny van Beek. They've ruined Harry Maguire now. They've ruined Jadon Sancho. Dean Henderson ruined. They're ruining talent. I'm telling you now, it's another one leg, Mason Greenwood, who's now ruined.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. I'm telling you, Ollie needs to be sacked now. They need to get in Brendan Rodgers or Graham Potter to save that team, because otherwise Yes, Graham Potter, good manager.
Mate,
good
what are you
manager.
on?
Hashtag Batnav. I've been talking about Brighton since last season. We know that, and we'll come to that. But Leo, I want to give you a chance to respond. But I just want, for clarification, though. So what you're saying is, obviously, Ronaldo scored some big goals for United,
Yeah,
especially in the Champions League, but also in the Premier League. But what you're trying to say, tell me if I'm correct in understanding you. You're trying to say that if Ronaldo wasn't there, they wouldn't be in that position that they need Ronaldo to score those goals. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. You know,
Okay.
Straightforward as
Okay,
that.
Leo.
You know what? I was going to agree with your points that you're saying about Arsenal. I'm not even a United fan, but I'm backing United.
You could
here.
be fooling some people with the way you're talking about them, excuse after excuse.
I mean, I was until I was 10. So
There we go.
But yeah, look, I just see that quality in United that I don't see in Arsenal. I just see, like I said, they've got those players they've got those players. United have got those players that have done it before. They know what it takes to grind out those results. And they're going through a bad patch at the moment, but Arsenal had that a month ago at the start of the season. Everyone was saying how bad Arsenal were. Ben White, 50 million. I don't know about cheap transfers. Ben White, 50 million. Okay, it's really cheap, isn't it?
50x.
Arsenal's
You just spent £80 million and he's
Who?
not scored a goal.
Sancho?
Or got an assist.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Sancho's worth 80 million. Ben White's not 50
Is
million.
he?
Not right now, he's
How
not.
many has he
Yeah,
His
because
value
he
is,
hasn't had a chance.
plummeting.
Mate, Eddie Nketiah has scored more goals than him this season.
Okay, he's played more. That's why.
Yeah, in the League Cup he scored 1 goal.
Okay, who cares about League Cup? No one cares about
What's
League
Sancho
Cup.
done?
We're on about Premier League, not League Cup.
Sancho hasn't scored in the
We're
League Cup
not on about the League Cup here, mate. We're on about 4th.
Are Leo and Noah going to revive the Arsenal-Manchester United rivalry that we saw in the 2000s? That's the question. That is the question.
This guy's on. It's crazy.
I love it.
Look, I mean, who have Arsenal got at the back? Tomoyashi, White, I don't know, Gabriel. Tierney, like, none of them would be in the United squad, let's be real. None of them.
Yeah, they'd all be in the
Not the
United.
way. Not the way. that
Maybe
United play
Tomoyashi.
defensively.
Maybe Tomoyashi.
Mate, our backup left back would get into the United team.
Nah, Luke should
Yeah,
stay over a
yeah.
bad patch, but
Probably.
Yeah.
At this rate.
Honestly, they're just going through a bad patch. But if they sack Solskjaer, then it will be even better for them.
But then
And by bad patch, you mean
you
losing to Villarreal.
can't call it a bad patch.
not
That every
winning a
big game
trophy.
they have, they're just embarrassing.
Yeah, for the past month, yeah, but they started really well.
For his entire career, ever since he got that PSG win, he's never really kicked off since then. He's never really done it. He's never taken it to the next level.
Well, they've gone. Well, no, this is the thing. They finished second last year. Let's not forget they finished second last year.
Yeah.
But you gotta feel like this year's been a step backwards.
Well, I
Despite,
think- Yeah.
go on, Alex. No, go
I
on.
think Noah makes a good point. Like that the teams kind of changed how they work now that Ronaldo's joined the squad, right? Like now Manchester United is a team with an expiry date. Like all the work they're doing right now is to like support him. And so when he decides he's going to go on to his next project, now they have to go back to like square one, build back up like what they want their identity to be, because right now it's like Ronaldo and co is basically what's happening. And
Yeah.
they've just kind of built around him. So you better hope that they get lots of success with this investment they made, because once he leaves, it's back to square one. So you want to get a trophy with him there at least. You're going to have to put in so much.
He'll be gone by the end of the
You're going to have to
summer.
put in all this work to recreate something after he's gone. You better get something from it.
Yeah. Look, bottom line is that with Man United, it looks like they were second last year. They've made some, in my opinion, some good signings, right? Some good signings, and it looked like that was going to help them push towards a title contention this season. But it just doesn't feel like, it just feels like a step back really this year. It really does. And then you've got Arsenal on the other hand, that you could, I think one of the big arguments for Arsenal, all the points that you said, no, I do agree with. There's fair reasons why your prediction's there. At the end of the day, it is a prediction. But I think on top of that, you've also got the teams who you'd also argue, because they're Man United. You look at West Ham, you can make the argument for, even though they're looking phenomenal this year, the argument that they're still in the Cups, they're still in Europe, that depth is questionable. You look at Everton, I don't know where they've gone recently, they've gone missing. You look at teams like Leicester, Wolves, and you're just not sure if they have enough to get into the top four. All those sorts of teams. Tottenham, I mean, where are they this year? So I think Arsenal. You can definitely make a case for Arsenal at the moment. So that's top four. That was interesting. Now I want to. We'll come back to the Europa spots, but I want to hear bottom three. I want to hear both of yours for bottom three. So I'm going to go to Noah first this time. Who's your bottom three?
So it's Norwich at the last place, and then I've got Burnley, and then I've got Watford. I'm pretty sure that'll be probably bog standard for everybody, to be honest with you. I mean, none of those teams are really investing. None of those teams really have much Premier League quality amongst them. So yeah, I think it's probably self-explanatory.
Burnley have popped up with a couple big performances, against a team like Brentford, who've looked at this, and I know Brentford have lost to Norwich now, a couple other teams, so a couple shock losses, but
they've only got
Burnley
one win.
Burnley have looked okay. They drew at Stamford Bridge. I mean, obviously Chelsea they pretty much threw everything at them, but somehow didn't get a second goal. But they did draw at Stamford Bridge. They still dug out that result. Whether they deserved it or not is questionable. But do you not see enough in Burnley? The continuity, the experience of Sean Dyche at this sort of level, at this experience of surviving year in, year out. They brought in Max Cornet, who looks like a very, very good player. Reminds me of Alan Saint-Maximin at Newcastle over the last year or two, just clearly a class above the rest of the team. Do you not see any of that kind of keeping them up?
I think they just had they've always just kind of been in around the bottom, and I think this year, Brentford have had a couple of bad games, but I think honestly, when it comes to it, Burnley just don't invest the same way, and I just don't see them staying up. I think this year, it's just the expiry dates happen now, and they'll probably get relegated. I think it'll be close. Don't get me wrong, but I think they'll probably be going down.
I'm glad you said Burnley because I think they need to go.
You've been on this since last season, haven't you?
Congratulations. You can consistently hold on to bottom of the pack. Good job. But why don't you go down to championship, build a squad that actually wants to play for something and wants to compete and do well, and then come back and be a team that can actually cause some damage in the Prem. Just consistently being at the bottom is not exciting to watch. I
know, but I'm not trying to come to their defence here, but something you may not know, Alex, being across the pond, Burnley's a very small... It's not. I don't know if you even call it a city. It's more like a town. It's a tiny town. The club it's not a huge club. They've got a half decent stadium, but they're not a huge club. And I think they own the owner who's come in and just spent tons of money. I think it's easier said than done to build. But I do hear what you're saying, that there's not really been a big signing apart from maybe Max Cornet this year. I've not really seen any signings they've made which have kind of blown me away. But I do think they know the players they're looking for with their style. Chris Wood came in from Leeds. I question whether he was a Premier League striker, but I think with another team he wouldn't be. But I think the way Burnley play, I think he suits that. So they do an okay job recruitment. But yeah, I think you could argue it either way with Burnley. And then we come to Watford, and obviously Ranieri's first 3 games, you've got 5-0 thrashing at home to Liverpool, but he'd just come into the job. They then bounced back with a big win at Goodison Park, 5-2, and then a 1-0 loss at home to Southampton, where they didn't really offer too much going forward. Noah, you don't see Ranieri turning things around there? Give him a January transfer window, maybe they invest a little bit?
No, I don't know. I think we've said previously when we've spoken, teams like Leeds are around the bottom, but I don't see them Leeds getting relegated, honestly. And Brentford, I don't see getting relegated. It's you might have the money and you might have some good players, but in the day, are you better than what's currently in the league?
Right.
And they're not. That's been proven. They're not beating the teams around them. So you might have a good team, that perspective, but it's a good championship team, and they've got some Premier League quality kind of scattered amongst the ranks, but it's still not good enough to really say they're safe.
I know Jovan would be in your corner. He can't stand
Leo?
Watford.
So yeah, you know what? I completely agree with Noah. What I'd say with obviously Norwich, they it's pretty inevitable. I think they're going to go. The thing is with Burnley, it's like I say, they've got that constant continuity. They've had Sean Dyche for how long? It's the same old kind of sticking through it, no real ambition. I feel, and then Watford, I mean, Ranieri went to Fulham a few years ago, pretty much the exact same position, and got them relegated. So I think you look at the Premier League table and you look what teams down there could possibly go down. You look at Newcastle; they're going to have hundreds of millions pumped in January. I can't see, and with Eddie Howe, a good young manager, I can't see them going down. You look at Villa; they've got quality, and they've got Gerrard coming in now. You can't see them going down. You can't see Leeds going down. So you look at maybe Brentford. They've lost the last 4 out of 5, and then Southampton. I think they've got enough quality. So I think I'd be willing to bet on those 3 teams going down. To be quite honest, I don't think there's.
Still agreeing with Noah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I think they're all fair points. If you had to pick, both of you, if you had to pick one other team who we should keep an eye on as potentially, if one of those two, I think we can agree Norwich have long gone. They've sailed away, mate. They've washed up the shore a while ago. But out of those 2 other teams, if one of those 2 teams could give it a push to 35, sort of 40 points, if there's one other team to watch out for, do you think might be in that relegation battle towards the end, who would it be?
I think
Brentford.
Or Newcastle, depending on what happens with Newcastle. Brentford or Newcastle.
Yeah, one of those 2. I'd say I'd agree
Newcastle,
with that.
yeah, because you can't just bring in a ton of money and just expect it to work immediately. Look what.
Don't know who they're going to bring in.
Yeah, we don't know that either. That's the mean. It's all good having the money to spend, but January window is not as easy to navigate as a. Do you know what I mean? Because there's players who you can start negotiating with on free contracts, but you can't bring in until the end of the season. You've got some players who haven't made decisions yet on re-signing contracts. There's a lot of things at play. So the January window is harder to navigate as it is, and they might have a lot of money, but they have to follow financial fair play, and they're not going to get a ton of income by selling players because their players aren't. Let's face it, worth. Like, how much is someone going to pay for John Joe Shelby these days? You know what I mean? Like maybe a packet of Quavers at this rate, but so you've got that to consider as well. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting, but I think those are 2 good shouts. I think Brentford will hit the 40-point mark. Like before the last few games, but yeah, there's been some concerning results recently. But yeah, before we wrap it up, I do want to hear Europa spots. I'm a bit nervous because for some reason my gut is telling me that Leo's put his team Wolves in the Europa spot, which I'm not going to believe it till I hear it, but I'm going to spare myself. I'm not ready for that. Noah, who's your Europa team? So remember, we got 5th, 6th, 7th. If you feel like a team could win the cup, this obviously FA Cup hasn't really started in the 3rd round, but if you had a gut feeling that a team outside of kind of those spaces were going to win the cup and get Europa, feel free to say that. But if you think it's just going to be 5, 6, 7 like in the league, let us know.
Well, West Ham fans will be happy because I think they're going to win the Europa League. So that automatically, and I think they're going to finish 5th. So I think they'll finish 5th and they'll win the Europa League. So I think that the Europa League spots will go to Tottenham and United.
5th and 6th.
They're going to be there anyway, realistically. Yeah. 6th and 7th, wherever however the slots go. I think that's where
6th and 7th.
End up to those teams anyway. So yeah, I don't see much change happening there. At the end of the day, they're playing badly, but they'll still have enough to come through and finish in some sort of European football.
Right, so you do see West Ham going all the way in the Europa League and still finishing 5th, but not enough for 4th.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it will just come down to a gut decision. I think they'll be I think it'll be a bit like, I remember Arsenal, I think we finished 5th or 6th the year we were in against Chelsea in the final, and I think it'll come down to, do we want to dedicate ourselves in the Premier League or the Europa League? And Europa League, there's a trophy at the end, there's European success, there's a Super Cup, whatever they're calling it now, like the game against the Champions League winners. There's a lot more for them to get, out if they win it, and then coming 4th. And I look at the teams who probably be in the round of 32, and I think West Ham is still the strongest. So I don't see why not.
So obviously, I think if we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, I don't think you'd have Tottenham in those spots. So kind of what's happened, so you're saying you believe enough in Conte to get them there. Do you think there needs to be some spending in the January window? Do you see Harry Kane being there at the end of the season? These sorts of questions.
Yeah, I think on Kane, I think look, he'll kick off. He will do. It's just taken some time. I think that summer was draining anyway. You're losing you lose the final with England. That's going to be draining anyway, and I don't think people have spoken enough about that, especially as he's captain. And then you come off all of that, and people really having a go at him for not scoring and coming to this season. It's not going to be great for him. I think he'll kick off eventually, and I think Conte, look, he's a serial winner. He knows what he's doing. They'll spend some money in January, probably not a lot, but they will, and they'll be clever about how they spend it. Conte is the guy who made Victor Moses become, like prime Danny Alves at Chelsea. He knows what he's doing, and I think it will take some time, but they will get a Europa League spot. It makes sense. It'd be crazy if I didn't put them there.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Right.
I feel like I
Alex.
learned about from the Euros, and now how I'm seeing how the season's going. Like Harry Kane is like a grand finale kind of guy. Like if you roll back and look at what I know, Dan and I were the whole like lead up and tournament play for the Euros. We're like, Harry Kane, get him off the team, take away the captaincy. He's awful, and then he shows up in like the semifinal and the final, and he's like, "Don't worry, I've been saving these goals."
Yeah.
And he's going to do that in the
that's a good
season.
point. Yeah, for sure. But obviously England is playing for the badge. I don't think he's playing for the badge anymore at Spurs. He looks like he doesn't want to be there, mate. That's what I'd say. That's the
He
only
wants to
thing
go
I
back
challenge
to the
to your point,
beach.
Alex. Look at
Fair.
that. Me and Alex now going head to head. Yeah. I think he wants to go off to Cancun for a bit and then start next season with City.
Seriously,
me.
yeah. I think he regrets
Yes.
getting on the plane to come back home.
City won't have him.
Yeah, honestly. But no, I think fair. Right. Leo.
You know what? I'm going to go with Arsenal 5th. West Ham 6th. And then it's between Wolves and Spurs. I can't lie.
Okay, hold on. Before I... Hold on. Wait, let's give him a
What?
chance. Let's give him a chance, okay? I don't even know how to phrase the question. What makes you think Wolves... I can't believe I'm asking this question. What makes you think Wolves can finish in 7th place?
Well, if you look at the last 7 games, I think they've lost 1. We've got a new manager in that has been there with the Champions League, Porto. He's a good coach, and he's got his own Portuguese, obviously with that Portuguese link. We've got 2 good strikers, Wang, who complements Jimenez really well up front.
Agreed.
2 really good strikers that work well together. I think our main problem at the moment is we start really well, which is something that's not been like other seasons, but we start really well and then we kind of fall off in the game. But I think if we kind of solidify that kind of like the whole game, we really do work 100%, then I really feel that they can come 7th or 8th this season. We have a good defence as well. Like Kilman's been playing really well recently. Mm-hmm. Cody, who just kind of controls the team. Bolly, Kilman's been doing that well. Bolly can't even get a game anymore. And Bolly's been doing really well. Past few seasons, and we've got a good keeper as well in Sarr. One thing you could say is maybe the midfield's, Moutinho's aging a bit, but obviously Neves still, I think he's 23, 24 now. I can't remember. And we've got good young players. We've got Trincao, Silva, Adama. When Neto comes back as well, Neto, Hwang, Jimenez. Honestly, that front 3 is deadly.
I think Noah's dying to us. So Noah, go first before I end this man's whole career.
When we said about the teams in relegation, we said, how will they stay up? They're not, compared to the teams around them, they're just not as good squads. This is exactly the same thing. You're just listing a bunch of bang average youngsters who haven't done it at Wolves.
I only listed 2. I just said
crazy.
2
What are you talking about?
Neto is not bang average.
Are they better than Leicester?
He's a national team. Oh, Neto is better than players.
United?
Jimenez.
Are they better than Tottenham?
They're
Are they better than
right
Everton?
now.
Are they better than Arsenal? West Ham? I can list.
Yeah, right
the list
now
can go
they're
on.
better than
There's 20
Everton.
teams.
100%. They're better than Leicester and they're better than Spurs. Right now, they're better than them 3. Right now. Yes,
Right now. But to quote you, Leo, it's only November, mate. It's only November. You're telling me.
You're just saying right now.
You're telling me in 2 or 3 months they're going to be better than Leicester and Spurs. Everton I can even question because Wolves embarrassed them at home. But Leicester's, you're telling me in a couple months they're going to be better still than Leicester and Spurs. Forget even league places, just a better team.
Well, we'll have to see, won't we?
Oh, give me a break. Listen, Leo, I'm gonna ask you a question. Right? Are you enjoying yourself on the podcast?
Thank you, I am.
You having fun?
I am, thank you, yeah.
I'm glad because this is going to be your last time, mate. Listen to me, right? Listen to me. Okay, you've got... I'm going to read Wolves' next 10 of their next 15 games, okay? You've got West Ham at home, you've got Liverpool at home, you've got Man City away, you've got Chelsea at home, you've got Arsenal away, you've got Man U away, you've got Arsenal at home, you've got Tottenham away, you've got Leicester at home, you've got West Ham away. Do you know how you have tough games coming up? You've had some pretty.
I did say all Tottenham. I'm not sure.
You should. There shouldn't be an or. I'm not giving you credit for saying or.
But I think we'll come top 8. I just don't know if we'll come 7th or 8th.
No, top 10. Top 10. I would listen to some justification.
If you're lucky,
top 10 maybe.
Yeah,
top 10 maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
Top 8.
Here's a question for you. Which one of those Wolves players walk into Tottenham or Leicester
Jimenez, Neto,
this season? Which one of them?
Kilman, Sarr.
You think Vardy? No.
No, Vardy.
Well,
would,
yeah, exactly.
No, Vardy would
You
work
have
well
to
with
think,
Jimenez.
No, none of them. Yeah, but they wouldn't walk
Jimenez
in.
would. Neto would.
They
Adama
wouldn't.
would.
I'll give you 4-1 odds. I'll give you 4-1 odds of Wolves coming top 7.
Okay, not top
If you
7.
win-
Top 8, 4-1 odds.
Top 7.
Top 8.
Top
I'll
7.
bet on top 8.
You said Wolves top 7.
I said Spurs or Wolves. I'm not sure.
No, so wait. So
Yeah.
we don't do either or on TFF. We don't do either or.
Oh, he's changing
We don't
that
dance
now.
on the fence. We don't wait at the bus stop. What's your answer?
We'll go with Spurs.
Leo Martin, Spurs.
Don't let them bully you. Don't let them
Oh,
bully
there
you.
we go.
I'm not,
mate.
I know.
Leo-
I said Spurs or Wolves. I think Wolves will come.
Mate,
yeah,
you
Wolves
failed the
come 8.
test. You got to stick to your guns, mate.
The second best
We've
team in
riled him
London
up.
is still
We've
better than
riled him
Wolves,
up.
mate, any day.
You've made the man question his own team.
I was questioning it anyway.
We've broken Leo Martin.
That's social media post. You'll see it. You know, that'll be the quote of the day. We've broken it. That's all.
Anyway, so this has been a little flavour of what's to come. But in the meantime, we hope you enjoy getting to know Noah and Leo a bit. Alex, I don't know about you, but I smelt like a little bit of a rivalry there. A bit like you and Elliot had when Elliot came on the show. I smelt a bit of a rivalry there.
Mr. Vanilla, yeah.
Mr. Vanilla, yeah. I see a little rivalry brewing. Well,
there's no rivalry.
good news because coming out soon, we'll also have Noah and Leo going head to head in a no-name football game. That's going to be
Ooh.
spicy.
That's
going to be
good.
spicy. Yeah. Anyway, this has been a little teaser. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Take care. Peace.
Game, the footy forum keeps the conversation going. Intense debates and jokes were made, so truth is always showing. Welcoming the best guests week in, week out, no doubt. Covering men and women's football, letting you know what it's about. We're talking about the most inclusive community, interacting with you at every opportunity. So stick around while we say to you so happily, welcome to the Footy Forum family.